Następna stacja Łuków. Station Biała Podlaska.
I've arrived to Biała Podlaska, last destination of my trip. Beautiful trains, I cannot get enough of them. And this is Biała Podlaska. Right, so I've been a bit sick the past day. I'll think I can conquer this with a Żabka hot dog right now. It's the first one in Poland officially. Gonna try. So finally I feel a bit recovered. And I'm in Biała Podlaska, just spending some time before my hotel will allow for check-in at 3 o'clock. And yeah, then it's already almost dark, so I don't have too much time to explore. I feel a bit sad that I didn't manage to pack in all of Seattle yesterday, but I saw there's a park and the palace and a lot of interesting things around. I know it's not the most interesting part of Poland, perhaps, the most interesting town, but I want to see it, perhaps in spring. I'm noticing in general that the police in Poland is very active. What they do is they just go around the town continuously and stop anything that they find suspicious or draws attention. So I see them all the time pull up behind cars, put the siren, stop the car, and I don't know what they do then. Perhaps alcohol checks for anything else that they can find. I have no idea. Perhaps they just ask some questions, but in general they keep a pretty good control of what goes on. And you see a good driving culture in Poland that you don't really see people disrespecting the rules. I'm sure there's plenty, but in general nearly all people use their blinkers, for example, stop for the zebra, don't block the zebra when they want to cross, let's say. There's a bit of a driving culture where people not only respect their own car but also the other road users, and I find this very refreshing in comparison to Bulgaria, where it's to each their own and you do whatever you want because you won't get punished anyway. And I like it here. In Bulgaria, even in the busy city of Sofia, within urban traffic, every second person is on their phone, texting or calling. I haven't seen that a single time in 2 weeks in Poland. That explains a bit of the difference in road culture, and I find that in that regard it's obviously a different world here. Although I'm sure that even that's been a long way, and there's still a long way to go, because you have obviously plenty of road rage going on anywhere. But I've also read that in Poland you have these undercover cars that really do patrol around and pick out the road abusers. So in general they do a pretty good job at policing here, without being an over-the-top police state, for example. So I know just a few words of Polish, or many things I can make out as a root Slavic word, but one that is the most interesting to me and that I had no idea what it meant is this one. Cygarmisters, which is in in Bulgarian časovnikar, clock repair or watch repair service, zegarmisters or misters. In any case, interesting word, I know where it comes from. Now, why am I interested to be here for New Year's? It's a nice and quiet start to the new year in Biała Podlaska, with many things to explore. I want a real slow start to 2025. I didn't want to start it off in Krakow. I've had a very intense period, and even this trip was a bit intense with me falling sick yesterday. I feel it's over now, I feel better, but I cannot have, I don't feel like having too much stimuli on my trip. So the trip to Eastern Poland and Podlasia was a very conscious one. It hasn't disappointed me at all. It's been a good place to unwind, and I think in springtime, for example, when everything is green, it has a lot more surprises for me that I still have to explore. You know, it's a huge country, so I don't have to rush anything. If I spend a lot of time here, I'll get to the interesting places. In general in life, you shouldn't rush anything too much. That's what I've learned. And the extra rural places of Podlasia are definitely on my list. I know it's a little bit hard to explore without a car, but hopefully I will make friends. So I'm on the main square here on the 31st of December. It is a bit quiet, but I think here I should be gathering tonight for fireworks, if there's any at all. I'll just have a very pleasant stroll around at midnight, and I just go to bed. Tomorrow I have a nice breakfast, take the 11 o'clock train to Warsaw and start my new life. So yeah, the trip was not supposed to be any hassle, just completely wind down. Just like I did last year, I spent in Finland with my brother, but I was already on my way home and I flew back from Turku to Gdansk. One of the main reasons as well that I moved to Poland is because my brother has a baby. He lives in Finland with his Finnish wife, so I can more easily get to Finland and the Netherlands from here. It's actually exactly in between, which means that I can manage to see them more often. And everywhere in the country you see these scars of war. This place right here was an execution place on November 13, 1943 and November 21st, 1933. 10 days later, 10 soldiers of the Polish Home Army and 16 civilian hostages from the Bielski district were executed by platoon of the Nazi German Gendarmerie quartered in Biała Podlaska. So there you find 10 names of those who perished, and here there's 16. All random people probably just going about their day, but being in the worst time possible. And we see that the building is old, well, at least the parts with, I suppose, bullet holes, although I see broken stones, although I cannot typically really distinguish if it is because of the holes that it's kept like this or just because of the general old look of the building, but I suppose it's part of the impact of the bullets, and it's absolutely awful that you can just... We're just walking by here every day, and the suffering of these people is forever written into these walls. It's just awful, I cannot even imagine. What I find very impressive about Poland is that everything is truly remembered and in a sense honored. Like, these things are not just painted and brushed over. They're kept to remember us every day when we walk by here, that people fought for our freedoms, for the freedoms of all of Europe. And it makes me emotional to see this. I'm obviously not used to it.